Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we get set for week 4 in the NFL, Thursday night football, and it's a game everyone is looking forward to as the calendar turns to October. The 0-3 Broncos against the 0-3 Jets. Kevin Rogers and Holden Kushner with you. And Holden, this is a game that you're going to get a lot of people watching, and it's two terrible teams.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing the baseball playoffs will be on at the same time, so you can go back and forth with that. I'll tell you again, K-Raj, as I'm going to sneeze here in a second, I still love watching football, even if it's the Broncos and Jets. I think I got past my sneeze. Even if it's the Broncos and Jets, K-Raj, because we got COVID with two teams. I don't know how many games we're getting in this year, so this game will be like the Super Bowl. I'm going to go get some wings. I don't drink, so I'll drink a bunch of water and celery. It's going to be amazing.
The Broncos are a 3-point favorite in this game, total of 40, and these two teams are two of the lowest scoring teams in the NFL. So you would say, how do they even reach 40? The only way they do is if Sam Darnold throws some more pick sixes like he did against the Colts this past week. But let's focus on the Broncos first, okay? Denver had Drew Lock as their quarterback this year, thinking this would be the guy to take them maybe, to the wild card. They're not going to win the division with Kansas City in it, but maybe Drew Lock would be the guy. He gets hurt early in the season, and they go to Jeff Driscoll. He gets banged up in the Tampa Bay game, and then Brett Rippon, who's always been a Bronco at Boise State, and then with the Denver Broncos, he came in. He played all right for a bit. He had an interception he threw towards the end of that game. They were losing the whole game against Tampa Bay. But what do you think about this Broncos team for all the injuries they've suffered right now? They've been an underdog every game, and now they're flipped to a favorite.
I think it says a lot about the Jets that a team that is 0-3 and has not named a starting quarterback, which either one of these guys would not have a starting job in the league on most teams, even if they had injury. Well, maybe Driscoll on a really bad team. Oh, like the Broncos. But it's amazing to me that a team with no starting quarterback named is actually favored, which is why I'm kind of leaning the Jets right now. And that's the only reason. It's going to be so ugly. You're right. The injuries. Let me go through the injuries. Phillip Lindsay could return, though. That's huge for the Broncos offense if you just want to check down. No defensive tackle, no Von Miller, no A.J. Bouye, no Cortland Sutton on the other side of things. They don't blitz. They haven't gotten sacks. They only forced 2 turnovers. They're 27th in sack rate. So that's my breakdown on the Broncos. They stink. Do you want my breakdown on the Jets?
I think I know what the breakdown is already, and I can help you out with that. Frank Gore is your leading running back, and your 2 leading receivers are Braxton Berrios and Chris Hogan.
Oh, so no. Don't forget about Lawrence Cager in the mix, too. He's one of their best offensive weapons. They might get Crowder back this week, though. That's good.
But how did the Jets score? I mean, seriously, they scored a late touchdown against the Bills. They scored a late touchdown against the 49ers. They scored early against the Colts, actually, and then didn't do anything the rest of the game. Oh, I'm going to ask you this, Holden. What's happened to Sam Darnold? Why everyone has propped him up as the guy? Adam Gase is the quarterback whisperer, and he's been terrible. Why is that?
I think, it's tough to succeed in an environment when you're given a coaching staff and an organization that's always dysfunctional. I said this about Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. He's an exceptional talent, but he's going to have to be amazing to succeed despite the organization that he's in. And I think we're seeing the same thing with Sam Darnold here. I'm actually a Sam Darnold fan. I think he looks completely lost now, though. Their offensive line stinks. They don't protect him. He doesn't have weapons. And he probably has, if he's not the worst head coach in the game, he's right there with Dan Quinn and Matt Patricia. He's just in a horrible situation. This whole organization is a debacle. But again, it's like, if they can't score, how are the Broncos going to score? How are we going to have any scoring? Is this going to be a 3-3 tie when it's all said and done? I'm with you. So one of these defense going to have to at least make a big play to put another team in scoring position.
The only positive with the Broncos is they played 3 teams that are combined 8-1 so far. So at least they played good competition. I know the Jets have played good competition as well, so I don't want to take that away from them either. But when you look at Denver, they faced so far 2 of the top 3 rushing defenses in Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. We know the Jets are not good defensively, so you would hope they get the running game going. Again, this is one of those games that you hate yourself if you bet it, because if you take Denver and lose, you say, oh, I should have known. I didn't want to follow the public. I should have taken the Jets. Then if you take the Jets, you really feel stupid because you're like, oh, I know the Jets are terrible.
Well, I think you just feel stupid if you bet on this game to begin with, right? But I kind of, to be honest with you, if Crowder's back, I don't mind that offense with the Jets. They could easily put up 10 points. So that's saying something about this game, K-Raj. If Crowder's back, he's got his big weapon. He can just target him 15 times and maybe move the ball a little bit. But listen, I know you're saying it's been tough matchups for the Broncos, but both teams are horrible. They're starting. The Broncos have 5.4 plays per drive. The Jets have 5.6. These offenses are both a disaster. Again, I think this is going to come down to a defensive play or an offensive miscue. But you're right on the under for 40. It's such a low total, but I don't see how these teams are going to put up points this week.
So with all that being said, it's time for our best bets. And our best bets between the Broncos and the Jets, each seeking their first win, but they could have a tie. We saw that with the Bengals and Eagles, so let's not put that past these two teams. So, Holden, I'm going to put it to you. What's your best bet for Thursday?
I mean, I'll take the Jets for the sole fact that the Broncos are favored without a quarterback. And if you think that the Broncos quarterbacks are better than Sam Darnold at this point, I think you're crazy. And the injuries to the Broncos defense, I don't know how much that's going to affect because the Jets offense is so bad. And they took one of their top receiving weapons away. Chris Herndon has to block now. They can't even throw to the guy. But I mean, if you ask me, hey, here, what's your best bet on this one? Well, I'd say the under, but the other side would be the Jets are facing a team without a starting quarterback name. Just give me the Jets and I'll hold my breath.
Well, with all that being said, I'm going to go the opposite side because the Broncos haven't named a starting quarterback and they're favored. That says a lot.
That's your logic.
How do you have logic for this game? Okay, here's your choices. Jeff Driscoll, Brett Rippon, Blake Bortles. John Elway, maybe if you take him out of the box. I mean, you have no options that are good, and that team is still favored over the Jets.
Yeah, that's why I think it should be a pick 'em. That's the both teams are so bad. The one point that you bring up that really has me thinking though is the run game. Like Lindsey is back. Gordon can tear up a bad defense if you're asked to do that. So maybe they can get their running game going. The Jets aren't going to have a running game, but ultimately this will be such a low scoring game. I have a hard time thinking a team's going to pull away.
So our best bets for this game, or I guess our good bets, we'll call them, not best, but just good bets. I'm going to take the Broncos. Holden's taking the Jets, and Holden kind of likes the under as well. So those are our picks for Thursday night NFL between the Broncos and the Jets. Winner gets their first win. Loser probably gets fired after that. So we'll see how that goes. For Holden Kushner, I'm Kevin Rogers. Thanks for watching, and best of luck with your bets.